Hi, so this piece of video is relatively a short one about a painting that was sitting around for quite a while and it wasn't quite doing anything, and so I decided to paint over it, and I tried so many moves to paint over it, and this is how it's ended up, and that's how it's going to stay for now. And so who knows whether someone else will fall in love with this piece or if it will be visiting back on my easel another day. It's possible. But I'm sharing a bit of the thought process behind why I've changed it and how I was changing it. Unfortunately though, I videoed quite a lot of it and then had to edit it down because it was too much talking about this one piece. And then I've obviously forgotten or I've given up recording the very last bit where it transformed the most and became this. But I sort of think if you're learning something, anything from each painting, big or small, then that's okay. It's done its job. And for me, creating these vlogs for you, I guess I don't want to over edit, but then also I want to be wary to not share, you know, too much when it's not got enough traction or something. So this one's been one of those weird ones. So I've shortened it right down. I've cropped back a whole bunch of the audio that I had made, and hopefully I've whittled it down enough that there's still some gems in there for you. And yeah, this one might not be one of my best and favorite, but I've spent so much time now on making the video and then making this little edit. I will share it, and onward and upward, just keep learning, keep growing from this whole experience. So I've brought this painting back into the studio. I've had it hanging, and I think it was around, it's been around for a couple of years in this state, sort of, and it hasn't sold, even though it's not gone right out into the wider world. I've had a few people through Open Studios, and it's been through various stages, and it's one of those ones that's been repainted and repainted, I don't know how many times. But what has come to mind now is I look at the 4 little ones that I've got above it. There's something new and fresh in those, that they feel more self-contained, like they've got a confidence and they know they're okay. Whereas this one has never had that for me. And so I'm bringing it back in. And what I thought I would do is let loose on it again, kind of begin again, but not just gesso over it and lose, because I can see that I've got some things on here that I love, but I'm going to have to let go and not be precious about them. And I'll discuss them now. What are the parts that I love? Because it might be interesting to see what is left at the end. So if I look at the qualities that I wrote down and I was using to help me figure out what I liked about the small works, if I bring that list to this one, spontaneity. There's quite a lot of spontaneity in this piece. Almost that's one of the major features, because there's drips coming down from the top, and there's that random kind of egg shape to the left in the middle there that I'm quite fascinated with. It's kind of like a beautiful portal. I really love those portals to a deeper, different place. But as it is there, it's just sort of this weird egg thing floating out in the middle of nowhere. That's what I'm finding is, you know, and then that bottom piece with the lines, the dark piece there, that's also floating out, almost looking like a skeletal ship shape, which is not really in keeping with anything else that I do, so that general piece there doesn't really do much for me in a way. And then just over to the bottom right corner, there's some daisy shapes, and then up in the white, there's the sort of fleur-de-lis stencil print, which, you know, I quite love. But again, it's another random piece here that may or may not belong. Now that, you know, when you have a great time playing on something and you put all the collage and do all the things, not everything belongs by the time you finish the journey that you've taken. And that's the thing too, I think, is if you see the bottom left corner there's a bit of collage with a sort of paisley pattern. And I think that was one of my main kicking off points for this whole painting. I got a parcel wrapped in this bag and it had this paisley pattern on the wrapping paper. And I fell madly in love with it and wanted desperately to include that in a painting and have it inform the whole palette. And so you can see another piece of it up the top, kind of quite central, more pieces of that collage. So I've got to say they are, you know, where they say you've got to kill your heroes, or there's some sort of terminology, kill your darlings or something, you know, get rid of what you love on a piece to let something else through sometimes. So that could happen here. I might have to let those collages go, maybe, or I'll see if there's some other way. But okay, so spontaneity, and then elegance is something that I quite like. I must admit, I think the deep blues and the pale whites and things do have a feeling of elegance. But with this one, I've kind of used quite a bit of, I think that top dark is blue-black from Italia, and they also call it indigo. So then when I've mixed that with white, I'm getting these kind of pale slate blues. So I wanted to talk about this at this stage because already it's changed quite a lot, and I've turned it upside down, and there's just areas now, it's just changed quite a bit. I don't know where I'm taking it, but so I've come back into the studio the next day after working into this piece, kind of just messing it up. And I noticed it looked quite a bit different in this brighter morning light than it did later in the afternoon yesterday. I can see a lot more texture when I look up close. And what I'm noticing is that it's warmer. The sort of caramel taupey colour has given it some more warmth that was missing before. I feel like I'm a bit lost again, which is, I don't know if you ever get used to that feeling of lostness. And I think it's maybe more prevalent in doing abstract work, because with figurative, I can usually know, you know, what I want to do a bit more easily than this, because these are uncharted territory. You have no idea where you're going or where it's taking you. So I'm noticing I've got lots of dark bits coming in on edges, and I've kept for the moment, that sort of magical egg thing over there. As you'll see, it's upside down to what it was yesterday. And I kind of prefer that dark piece at the bottom. And taking some crayon lines through it has given, you know, a little bit of that quiet conversation in the dark, which is quite yummy to me. What else? It sort of just looks like a mess now. So it's a case of what parts of that are spontaneous and marks that I'm enjoying, and what are maybe irrelevant to what this piece wants. So I've reached another pause point. So I've had this hanging in my lounge now for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. And I got a particularly lovely comment from a friend when she saw it on my Facebook. And so I've been just hanging out with it. And I'm just on visiting it again this morning. What I'm really enjoying is all the variations in colour when you come in close. And there's a lot of texture. So as I was thinking that I would add something more to it or do something different, when I come in really close, I love these worlds within worlds that don't really require me to do something else. Like, see that sort of quieter conversation there? I really love it. And I love that it just whispers off into there. Excuse that light flickering. So what I might do is just give it a try out in the world and see what happens. You took the time to watch it. Thanks so much, and thanks for following along. I really appreciate it.